One of my most vivid childhood memories is me hearing my mom's heels in the corridor when she was leaving the house for work. I was supposed to be asleep, but I remember always trying to peek through the door to see what she was wearing. In retrospect, that must have been my first contact with fashion, and my mom was definitely my first fashion icon, and it was amazing. I remember thinking, I can't wait to grow up and choose my own clothes and look as put together as my mom. Luckily for me, my mom had and still has an amazing fashion sense, which if you ask me, I would say was passed down. I would just say it. And double luck, every few months she hits me up and sends me a bunch of pictures of clothes she doesn't want anymore to check if I want anything. And I usually do. Unfortunately for me, there's always something that I'm not too fond of, let's say it like that, which means that I almost never wear her clothes. But that's about to change because today I'm going to be altering my mom's clothes to turn them into something I would be comfortable wearing. Welcome to the first episode of Flipping My Mom's Clothes from the 90s. And here is the project of the day. What I absolutely love about two-piece sets is that you don't have to think too much about matching. The match is already done for you. It's such an effortless way to look like you have your things together. Anyways, let's try it on. This is very 90s in a good way, but in a bad way too. But here's what I like about it. I really enjoyed the stitching. I think it's so intentional, purposeful, it's hand-stitched. It's just amazing. Love that. I also like the overall shape of the top. It looks very purposeful. It has compartments. Overall, I think it's a great pattern. Now what I dislike. I don't like the length of the skirt. This skirt is a size 42. That's not my size. And so instead of falling in my waist, it's falling on my hips, which if the skirt was longer, I would have not touched this ensemble. I would have kept it as is because I really enjoy low-waisted skirts, but it has this weird under the knee length that does not look good on me. This looks amazing on my mom. Amazing, but not on me. The last thing that I dislike are the sleeves. Now, I'm not opposed to leaving them as is because they do fit the straight lines look that this whole ensemble has, but we'll see because again, does not look good on me. Maybe I'm the problem. Here are my initial thoughts. I don't have enough fabric to turn this skirt maxi, which would have been my preferred outcome. So that forces me to make it mini. In which case, I would take the excess of fabric from the skirt and maybe give a little bit of oomph to the sleeves. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that fits the look of this ensemble because it has a lot of very straight, crisp lines, and I would be adding some curve. So that remains to be determined. For the upper part, I would like to refine the seams. This is too big for me, but the overall shape of it is somewhat cinched on the waist. And I believe it would be very interesting to exaggerate that shape. Which leads me to my next idea. If I end up having excess fabric, I would also like to make a belt. That could be very cool as well. I also thought about the possibility of removing the sleeves altogether and turning this into a vest of sorts that could be worn on top of very extravagant shirts. But that's definitely not my first option. What do we think? I just noticed that there is an opening in the waistband, and I wasn't really planning on removing fabric from the skirt. I was thinking maybe I could gather or I could do some darts. So I decided that I was not even going to uninstall the waistband. I'm just going to alter it in place. This might seem very sketchy to a lot of sewists out there, but I'm very intuitive with my sewing. If I can avoid touching something that I don't want to touch or adding to the workload, I'm just not gonna. I'm very impressed with myself because it looks like nothing has been done to the waistband. I spoke too soon. I did not do the best job top stitching, but it's okay. We're just gonna move on. Like I said earlier, I'm not removing any fabric from the skirt, which means I need to find a way to deal with the excess fabric. I was thinking about either gathering or adding darts. Now I removed 4 centimeters twice, so 8 total. I feel like if I were to gather those 8 centimeters, it wouldn't make any difference style-wise. It would maybe just look a bit weird. So I'm leaning towards darts. I'm very happy with the darts. Hopefully I removed the exact amount that I had to remove. I'm gonna go ahead and sew the waistband back. I'm gonna do one side by machine and the other side by hand. The pretty side by machine. That's how I usually do waistbands and bias tape. The pretty side always by machine. I don't trust myself. The skirt is now my size. I had a burst of confidence out of nowhere and I top stitched, and I have to say I'm happy I did because it looks pretty good. The next thing is cropping the skirt, but I'm still unsure about where I want it to land. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pin the whole thing and try different lengths. First option. I feel like this is a good length. It's a little bit on the higher fashion kind of lengths. Because in general, and I'm just generalizing here, but high fashion, they just do either the miniest of mini skirts, like the Miu Miu ones, or they do the length knee, so the original length of the skirt, which I just can't manage with my body proportions. And then they do this, I feel like, or maybe even slightly longer. I would say I'm comfortable like this. Here's the second option. I'm not the biggest mini skirt fan. I'm just I'm such a prude. I feel like this looks better with my body. But I'm trying to see whether I'm comfortable. It's not too short either. I decided to do an in-between and leave enough fabric in case I regret the choice. Yeah, I don't like making decisions. time to hem the bottom of the skirt. I think I'm gonna use for the first time these hemming foots. I've had a good experience with the rolled ones, so I'm excited about this. In my opinion, very average results. But I think it also has to do with the fact that I've never used them. So most likely it is my fault. I do recommend the very small ones. Those work really well. For the lining, I'm going to go ahead and quickly serge the edge, and then we can move on to the top part. And here's how the skirt turned out. I'm very happy with it, actually. It's not entirely my style. It's a very Tommy Hilfiger cruise type of vibe. But I feel like now I would definitely wear this. And that was the whole point. Now that it's ironed, I can tell that there's a definitive cinching element to the original pattern. And I really like that because it means that I'm not completely straying away from what the garment originally was. This is actually a very nice pattern. I'm only gonna exaggerate it a teeny tiny bit. The waist has been cinched and I absolutely adore the result. It makes such a big difference, actually. You'll see once I wear it, but yeah, really happy and excited about that. So, I have been thinking that originally I thought about maybe only altering the sleeve to make it slightly bigger. And now, after having been ruminating about the sleeves, I just think I'm gonna go big. And I'm gonna follow my gut instinct. I'm gonna do balloon sleeves, I think. I'm gonna try. I do think it could look weird, but I'm still gonna go for it. The seam ripper is out because it's just not working. And it's not working because I did not alter the shape of the sleeve. I just added a bunch of fabric width. And so it makes no sense. It's a very 2000s type of sleeve. and it's not working. So I took this as a signal to change course. And now I'm just gonna go back to my original idea, which was to keep things straight. I have no idea where I left off yesterday, but I'm telling you where I'm at today. This morning, woke up, and the first thing that I did was reinstall the original sleeve on the top. And the reason for that is that I realized that there was nothing wrong with the original sleeve. What was wrong was my perception of the sleeve. To say things a bit more bluntly, I'm a little bit insecure about my arms. And so whenever I have the chance to do a balloon sleeve or do anything that's gonna cover me up, I do it. So I decided to fight that off and just be happy with myself, or at least try to. And I don't think that I thoroughly explained why I ditched the balloon sleeve idea. What I realized is that I would have had to redo a whole sleeve from scratch if I wanted to pursue that idea, because the sleeve pattern for this top is straight. So whenever I was gathering, the fabric on the edge was kind of going up like that. And that's because usually balloon sleeve patterns have a slightly curved edge. And that's because when you're gathering the upper part, it kind of goes straight. And so it wasn't working with the original sleeve. The sleeve was going up like that, and it just was not looking good. And the reason that I'm not doing sleeves from scratch is because I wouldn't have had enough fabric for what's coming next. The belt. And I'm really excited about the belt. I have the belt, but I feel like something is definitely missing. So I think I'm gonna add some stitching lines horizontally, just to give it a little bit more oomph, fun, peps, something. I was also wondering if I should do belt loops, because I personally don't like when I see belt loops on a garment and then there's no belt. And I feel like I want to give myself the option of wearing this without the belt. And so I think I'm just going to do without belt loops. I'm pretty sure this isn't me problem. What do you think? Is that weird, or am I weird? Let me know. Finally finished. Not the best job. It's a bit rustic, primitive, even. But I like it. I like it. here are my thoughts. Even if this transformation was not massive, it has made the difference between me wearing and not wearing this set. And that's exactly what I wanted to show you. You might be a couple alterations away from wearing your family or your friends' clothes, especially when it comes to garments that are from another very specific fashion era and they're deemed tacky or out of style. Or in my case, a fit that I believe was really unflattering on me. The worst thing that could happen is for the clothes to remain unworn, which they would have been in the first place. So give old clothes a chance. As for me, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I know for a fact that I'm going to be wearing this from now on. Firstly, because I've been able to turn this into something that I would be actually comfortable wearing fashion-wise. And secondly, because I truly think this was worth flipping. It is very high quality, but most of it all, it was also worn by my mom, which makes it infinitely more special to me. Anyways, thank you for watching the first episode of Flipping My Mom's Clothes from the 90s. There will be more. See ya!